Well, I listened to Gareth's explanation of it, and you can always look at the mistakes and the changes that could have been made, but most of the time Southgate gets it right. We didn't lose this game. We drew it. We're going to qualify. We're going to qualify with aplomb. The game went away or back into Poland's favour very quickly because England were very comfortable, and it probably was only the last 6 or 7 minutes of the game where they started to build up a head of steam. We dropped deep and we looked as if we were in a different phase of the game that might have needed a change. Now, look, I mean, you can criticise and you can say, does Southgate have the propensity to repeat mistakes? Because there's nothing wrong with making mistakes. If we identify this as a mistake, there's everything wrong from repeating these mistakes. I think it is margins. I think it's a very fine margin. About 5 or 6 minutes before the game finishes, would you, if you were Mancini, and I compare him to Mancini because obviously Mancini's going on this 37-game unbeaten run and everyone lauding and applauding what he's doing with Italy. Yeah. Would he have made a change? Probably he would have made a change. Yeah. But it came on very quickly, and I don't look at it as a particular chink in the armour. I don't think Gareth Southgate is a brilliant manager. Is he a fine margins manager? Well, I think all managers are fine margins. That's why they get every single opportunity to facilitate solutions, whether it's throwing coaches or sub coaches that are advocating that every aspect of football gets looked at through a certain prism and micromanaging everything. I think you take more from that performance than just the last 5 or 6 minutes, because I think England were in control of that game. I don't think they played brilliantly, but they look a very assured, settled side. And the last 6 minutes, I wasn't sitting at the television screaming England need to make a change. I was looking at it again. They're building up momentum, Poland, because at one point Poland couldn't get out. We looked like we were dominating the game, but we're talking about a decision in the last 10 minutes of the game. I get that. I'm surprised that you've been so moderate this morning about this. I just think a pile-on when we've gone away to Poland in a difficult game where they came to play against us in a very hostile atmosphere, and we've taken 7 points out of the 9 points that are available. We've got to beat an average side to qualify. I think we're nitpicking. I think we're micromanaging it. But really? Yeah, I do. I'm surprised you're not a bit more robust on this, because we've seen this before in the semi-final of the World Cup against Croatia. Same thing, no subs. Yeah, I mean, you got to look at your bench in the Croatian management. In the Croatian game, the criticism was that they came out and for the whole of the second half, England were in a difficult situation. The first half, the Croatians were poor. We dominated the game. We should have put it out of sight. The second half, we knew the Croatians were going to get better, and he had 45 minutes to react. So there's a real legitimate bona fide criticism there. But he was learning on the job. First tournament, first real experiences, and first real challenges that had come upon him. Now we move down the line and say, OK, I think he should be criticised for the substitutes that were put on the pitch against Italy and the selection of people that were elected to take penalties. And I think the senior players should be part of that criticism as well. But going to this one, I think to myself, I look at the game and think... No reaction. Didn't react. Well, he obviously didn't think that there was that much of a problem that he needed to. Now, we take that back and say, well, obviously it was a problem because they scored in the last minute. But I would prefer to focus on the performance over the 3 games, the fact that we look a very settled, assured, balanced, decent football team that looks composed. The players seem to be very happy to be where they are. And if one management decision that could have been done better is the very best that the media can pick out of this to highlight criticisms, then I think that's probably a little bit puerile. Is this really you this morning? I think you've got to be fair. Right. Listen, I'm never dissuaded. I've never changed my view. I don't think Gareth Southgate is a world-beating international manager. I think he's got a really good group of players and had some fantastically fortunate draws. Yeah. I think we should have won the European Championships. I think he was wrong to select the players to take the penalties that took the penalties in the final against Italy. But ultimately, in this instance, I look at it and go, well, I don't think that I would be wanting to pile on because he let a moment get away from him. Yes, if we want to be ultra critical, if we want to judge him by the highest standards, which I don't judge him by because I don't think he's at the highest standard. I think he's a decent England manager. I don't think they're winning guitar. I think they missed an opportunity in the Euros. But I think I look at this game and go, yeah, in an ideal world, he should have flexed. He should have flexed. Just before I go to this, we'll listen to a bit of Southgate in a second. If it's not Southgate who should be in charge of England in Qatar, who should it be? Oh, and I'm not suggesting it shouldn't be Southgate. I think he's absolutely earned the right to be in charge of the England team. I'm always wondering if you've got somebody at the back of your mind who think we should be in that technical area. I always think that the best manager for the job is the person that has exhibited the qualities to be the England manager. Yeah. He's exhibiting it now in situ, because how would I argue a guy that gets to a semi-finals of the World Cup, gets to the finals of a European Championship, shouldn't be in situ, given what we've had over the last 55 years, with the exception of Bobby Robson and maybe a moments in time from Terry Venables. This guy's been in place now for 4 or 5 years, and we look like we're progressing. But you still question the fact whether he should get a new deal. I question the fact that why would you want to give it to him now? Right. Go
Okay.
win the World Cup, then get a new deal. Or go
Okay.
perform credibly in the World Cup, get a new deal.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Thursday morning, 10 till 1. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.